I want to talk once again about our favorite guy, Oliver Anthony, who is for some reason not going away. It's just never happening. Turns out he's woke. Okay, folks, the right-wing guy that they were astroturfing is not so right after all. Turns out he's woke. Okay, he did it again. He's just a libertarian. Yeah, I don't really care about where he's coming from. Here it is. He came out of the gate swinging.
If there is anything for me to address at all with you, it's that the one thing that has bothered me is seeing people wrap politics up into this. Like, it's aggravating seeing people on conservative news try to identify with me like I'm one of them. It's aggravating seeing certain musicians and politicians act like we're buddies and act like we're fighting the same struggle here, like that we're trying to present the same message.
Oliver is a chatter here for your information. Didn't he talk to Midwestern Marx or something? He might have at some point. Probably not anymore. He's not a leftist, guys. Come on. Absolutely zero people who are actually fucking Marxists in any meaningful capacity are talking about how fucked up it is that these guys, these wealthy politicians on both sides, are giving welfare to fat people, okay?
I've had a lot of people reach out to me, and I've tried to be polite to everybody, and I've talked to hundreds of people the last 2 weeks. It seems like certain people want to just ride the attention of this song to maybe make them their own selves relevant, and that's aggravating as hell. The other thing that I find aggravating is, you know, like, it was funny seeing my song it was funny seeing it at the presidential debate, because it's like, I wrote that song about those people. You know, so for them to have to sit there and listen to that,
the only thing that I would ever fucking go back on is if he was like, listen, brother, I'm not a very good singer myself. I just thought it would be a good rhyme. That is the only way that I'd be like, okay, maybe he's not a fucking total shithead, and that's the reason why he said it. There's a major reason his song fell into that space, though. Well, I never, like, played along with the conspiracies of people being like, Richmond is Confederate or whatever, like, him being, like, secretly dog whistling or anything. What's his account, chat? Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you, part 2. This is the one.
Well, hey there. It's August 25th, 2023. A lot's changed since the last time I sat here and spoke to you. My friends and family.
I will say one thing. The reason why I'm covering this is not because it's always funny when, like, the right don't do their due diligence and then end up propping up a guy who's like, no, I actually hate you guys. What the fuck are you doing? But the real reason why I wanted to cover it, and this is going to come across like I'm fucking defending him. I'm not. But this morning, I had an aneurysm, okay? Why did I have an aneurysm? Because just like I always do, I listen to NPR in the mornings. And let me tell you something. This morning's NPR fuckfest was particularly mind-numbing. Up first, with NPR covered 3 issues, 3 biggest issues of the day. The first issue was Trump's busy week, which is fine, talking about the mugshot and whatnot. The second issue that they covered was hit songs extreme themes, where they brought in an extremism specialist and they went fucking insane mode. I want to separate my personal criticisms and me dunking on this guy with what the fuck the liberals are saying about it. I despise when people look at a situation like this and go, guys, this is like really gonna galvanize. This is really gonna galvanize the fucking racists, because this song, I mean, the song that he came out with was like it's so scary. It's so scary, guys. It's like, what the fuck are you guys saying? Like, I don't know his other songs, but the one I listened to is just like regular old basic ass, you know, Republican takes that just shit on welfare after like identifying a problem with our politicians and then turning around and then shitting on welfare. Like, that's the worst thing they've done. Turning that around and being like, this is promoting extremism, like, makes me fucking lose my mind. Are you just trying to give a gift to the right? Because Fox News is going to run with that now. And then this guy's in the fucking discourse for another week. It's just so annoying. You know Fox News is going to cut like a ton of videos on it. And I'll be honest with you, they should, because it's so fucking delusional. I mean, as a chance to highlight the good and educate on the bad, not short-sightedness of class consciousness. First of all, people literally were up my asshole for making fun of this guy in the lightest ways possible, because I didn't immediately dick ride him into oblivion and say he's like the savior of the working class. Like, it's not like I was saying this is a genuine threat. I just simply said this is classic dumbass, like, welfare reform asking silliness. And many people on the left, on Twitter especially, did the same thing. They just clowned on him. It's okay, guys. You can clown on people that are making music that, especially the right wing, is celebrating as though this is like some really fucking bold truths that everyone is too afraid to highlight or some shit. Do you understand? This song in and of itself is not about fucking class consciousness. He's talking about, like, you know, politicians looking out for pedophiles, okay? And like defending pedophiles like Jeffrey Epstein, which Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton are friends of, right? And then he's in the next bar talking about fucking welfare reform, which Bill Clinton did. So which is it? Bill Clinton can be best friends with a pedophile as long as he gives us welfare reform? Is that what you're saying? If you heard my analysis of this song and me clowning on him, you know that it wasn't like, oh, this guy presents a danger or whatever. It was just like, here's another song. It's being astroturfed by the right. It was just like incredibly fucking, it is incredibly silly to take this as seriously as anyone has, which I refuse to do so.
It was funny seeing my song in the, it was funny seeing it at the presidential debate. Because it's like, I wrote that song about those people. But it was funny kind of seeing the response to it. Like, that song has nothing to do with Joe Biden, you know? It's a lot bigger than Joe Biden. That song is written about the people on that stage, and a lot more too, not just them, but definitely them. It's cool seeing some of my other music come out because people are, I guess, starting to appreciate and understand what it is I'm really trying to say. It's hard to get a message out about your political ideology or your belief about the world in 3 minutes and some change. But I do hate to see that song being weaponized. Like I see the right trying to characterize me as one of their own. And I see the left trying to discredit me, I guess in retaliation. That shit's got to stop. If you watch the response videos on YouTube to this song, it's not conservative people responding to the song. It's not even necessarily Americans responding to the song. I don't know that I've seen anything get such positive response from such a diverse group of people.
I'm sorry, dude. I just don't think that this is like a genre-defining, like a world-changing work of art. He's fully talking about you. No, he's not. He's talking about everyone else, and myself included, probably. Chill. So he isn't right-wing then? Yeah. Listen. All I want to know is what the fuck he's talking about with the fudge rounds, okay? There is something interesting about the fact that he rarely ever posted the fudge rounds part. I don't know why, but it's like, fudge rounds are fairly fucking good. They're like the chocolate version of oatmeal cream pies. I've never had it.
I think that terrifies the people that I sing about in that song. And they've done everything they can the last 2 weeks to make me look like a fool, to spin my words, to try to stick me in a political bucket. And they can keep trying, but I'm just going to keep on writing. And I've got a lot of words to put down on paper, and I've got a lot of songs to put to chords, and I don't know what my music career is going to look like. I don't know how many shows I'm going to do and how many tours I'm going to put on, but I am going to stay true to...
Why the North of Richmond line if there isn't a Confederate sympathy? Because Rich Man of Richmond rhymes, dude. I was like, he's just fucking saying like Washington, D.C. Come on, that part was very clear from the jump. I'm going to show you guys something. I'm going to show you a song that truly resonates with the American population in a way, in a raw, poetic format. Okay? In an authentic, raw, and poetic format. I need you to understand. Here is the real truth of the matter.
I dream about American politics tonight. Have I got a song for you? It's in the company of strangers that I can stand up to the man, 'cause I can campaign against the problems that I can see from where I stand.
That's the truth. The main reason this song resonates with so many people isn't political. It's because the song is raw and authentic. We are suffocated by artificiality.
I'm going to write, produce, and distribute authentic music that represents people and not politics. I do feel compelled to address something. Since I have addressed the conservatives, I do need to address the left as well, because they're sending a message out that initial song that sort of shot me up the radar, Men North of Richmond, is an attack against the poor. If you listen to my other music, it's obvious that all of my songs that reference class defend the poor. Doggone, it's a good example of that. Needles in the street, folks hardly surviving on sidewalks next to highways full of cars self-driving. The poor keep hurting and the rich keep thriving. It's like, that's what I like to sing about. You know, the English language is interpretive, and so I do understand, like, there may be some people who misunderstood my words in Men North of Richmond. But I've got to be clear that my message, like with any of my songs, it references the inefficiencies of the government.
So here's what his answer was to Oliver Anthony talking about the fudge rounds. Here, this is: our government likes to throw money at problems without conceptualizing real solutions that connect to the individuals involved. The lyrics contrast that some are left without any and others are only left with the option of living on junk food. Meanwhile, our farming industry has been corporatized and sold out. Food is entirely too expensive, especially in a nation with abundant farmland. In politics, it's all about keeping people who are dependent. Yep. Okay, dude. I do think it's a little generous. That is absolutely not what he meant. I mean, I don't know why he would turn heel after getting this much praise from the right and then be like, oh, maybe people misunderstood the thing that I was trying to say. The only thing I would say in the situation is if he admits that he's just like not the best lyricist, which is why he did the fudge round thing. Lib dub retcon, I'll take it. Yeah, I don't know why he would just like fuck up the bag this way. You know what I mean?
Because of the politicians within it that are engulfed in bribes and extortion. And, you know, the words say that there's people on the street with nothing to eat and the obese milking welfare. That references a news article I read earlier this summer that adolescent kids in Richmond are missing meals over the summer because their parents can't afford to feed them and they're not in school to eat cafeteria.
Brother, what? You said the obese are milking welfare. Like, what the fuck do you mean? Why would anybody interpret that in any other direction? Every part of his fucking lyrics revolves around shitting on welfare and demanding austerity. I do think it's, let me tell you something. I do think it's interesting. This actually makes him a more interesting person. Why? Because why is a guy who got elevated by the right, astroturfed by the right, into fucking getting a #1 Billboard chart song, turning heel immediately as soon as the spotlight is on him and being like, no, you guys don't understand. I don't fuck with any of this shit because he has morals. Okay, but then why did he fucking write the song like that originally? It makes him a unique person for sure. Because like, here's the thing. He could have just leaned into it and kept it going if he was like the type of dude who just straight up is a right-wing idiot. The fact that he is like, no, actually, I'm not like that. Diversity is our strength. And also, fuck these guys who think that like, you know, I'm on their side. Chat, you can't save him. Holy fuck, y'all are so gullible. I mean, I don't think there is any saving. I think it's an interesting perspective. Maybe he is truly like a fucking leftist dude. Who knows? Maybe. Okay, maybe he is like a class-conscious guy. But it's wild that you guys are saying he's a coward and that's why he's backtracking. He don't need to backtrack. He needs to fucking front track. Okay? In his shoes, if he legitimately is like a right-wing guy, then all he needs to do is make up another fucking song where he says like, you should kill trans people, and then boom. You know what I mean? What the fuck are you talking about? All he needs to do is just lean in to the right, and the right will cherish him and keep trying to elevate him back again every time he drops a new album.
And meanwhile, I think like 30 or 40% of the food bought with welfare or EBT money is in a classification of like snack food and soda. I think 10% spent on soda, and I want to say like 20 or 30% spent on junk food. And that's not the fault of those people. Welfare only makes up a small percentage of our budget. You know, we can fuel a proxy war in a foreign land, but we can't take care of our own. That's all the song's trying to say.
Yeah, that's not what those lyrics were. Come on, man. What the fuck? The less direct he is with his politics, the more he can worm around the media. Liberals would be confused and want to ask him more. Republicans would make him look like an innocent artist being bullied by liberals. I don't think this guy is that smart. I don't think he's like smart enough to confuse. Like, I don't think he's trying to. I don't think this dude is legitimately like, ooh, I'm going to sneakily with my first hit say some like really basic right-wing shit only to double down on, instead of doubling down on it, only to back away from it and then like take a PR hit from the right. He's just fucking up the bag.
It's just saying that the government takes people who are needy dependent and makes them needy independent.
I think you're just being uncharitable. No, I'm being significantly more charitable to him than Chad is by saying I think his take here might be genuine. Like, I don't think this is like a insidious, secret, cynical retriangulation of his message. That's why I believe the easier argument is he just thought that it was bars. You know what I mean? He just thought it was fucking bars.
At some point I will dissect all my lyrics of all my songs if that's what I need to do. I mean, 30-some million people understood what I was saying.
Would you have him on the broadcast? Yeah, I would have him on the broadcast.
To derail the train, you know, to try to send out false narratives. And I'm sure there'll be more of that to come.
I'm not gonna lie. This video paired up with the NPR coverage on him has changed my mind about his perspective a little bit. I just thought he was like a regular, basic ass, dumbass chud who's just like, yeah, the obese milk and welfare and the EBT people, they're the real problem. Like they need to. We need welfare reform. But I don't think that he's like being cynical, because if he was cynical and if he was doing this, he didn't need to re-triangulate his message at all. He could have very easily turned around and continued making like light populist messages, like subtle economic populist messages with a little bit of xenophobia attached to it. Like, oh, you're not helping our veterans that are homeless on the street because you're too busy helping, you know, those who want to invade our country again. And then every single person on the right would be like, this is bars again. He did it again. This guy's the best. You know what I mean? When did he say that? He never said that. I'm saying he could say that in his next song and keep riding the fucking wave. I'm sorry. There's no way to interpret those lyrics that isn't anti-welfare. Let's be fucking real. Which is why I said maybe he's just not like, maybe he didn't think it through or something, okay? Maybe he just has incoherent politics and someone fucking genuinely explained to him that his line was like implementing austerity measures for no discernible reason. And he was like, well, you know, that's not what I meant. I don't want that. And now he just is backing away from it. My point is this. I'm a media guy, okay? And as a media guy, the thing I look at is in his shoes, if I have the morality of a right-winger, if I have the ideology of a right-winger, there is no way in hell I'm fucking backing away from that. Just gonna say it, certain white leftists will bend over backwards when it comes to romanticizing poor white working class shows. Absolutely. I think people really hyper-focus on the aesthetics, and it is yet another aspect of living in the United States of America in a late-stage capitalist dystopian world where, like, you have no connection to class consciousness, so you just only hyper-focus on the optics, because that's what liberals do. It's liberalism. What are they saying? Please do not stop, keep preaching. I played a couple of your songs with my 82-year-old parents. You well-articulated what the common people think. Your music strikes a deep chord to many of us. Please, sir. I don't think any of them actually heard what he was saying in this video. I followed him. I'm going to DM him on Instagram. I think it'd be an interesting conversation. You talk so much shit about him, Lamau. Yeah, I did. Also, I hope you guys understand something very important here, okay? Me talking shit about him is perfectly fucking valid for what his lyrics were. If he actually is a fucking left-wing guy who is deeply class conscious, he should understand that. I'm not gonna fucking sit here and be like, wow, another guy who came out and was like, oh, it's the obese milking welfare. That's the real problem in American society. Just because he said a bunch of fucking populist bullshit like, oh man, rich men north of Richmond, like this is what they're doing. If that is your major point of contention with the rich men north of Richmond, then, you know, it's fucking bullshit. Also, there are plenty of people who went above and beyond being like, this guy's actually a secret fucking conservative op, a Confederate op, defending the Confederacy, blah, blah, blah. If this is truly what he meant, I would love to talk to him about it. And I would love to hear his perspective, his full perspective, and why he chose to use those lyrics.
I don't know what this country is going to look like in 10 or 20 years if things don't change. I don't know what this world's going to look like. Like, something has to be done about it, you know? There's been too many people die. There's been too many people sacrifice everything they've had. People die before they're even 18, you know? Just for us to all sit here and just do the stupid shit it is that we do every day that keeps us all beat down and divided. Like, that's what I want to see stop. And I'm going to do everything I can.
Leftists unfortunately want to remain a subculture of purity, running away from popular things for a few lines unhealthy to build broader solidarity. Guys, there's no fucking broader solidarity happening with like one song, please. For me, it's just fascinating, okay? I'm fascinated. The more I learn about a person who like literally fucking was doing classic conservative commentary, was at the top, comes out of nowhere, is astroturfed by right-wingers, and then turns around and is like, actually, all that shit is, people are misunderstanding. I'm not even talking about them.
To influence that at all costs. Even if it does throw my world upside down, it's well worth it. But for now, I'm hanging in there and I'm doing what I can. And I really appreciate everybody who's along for the ride. So there's a lot more to come, and I'm excited for it. And I'll see you on the next one.
It's not, you don't get it. He used the Republican high notes to appeal to the Republican dark money lobby to get his shit out, and now he's lefty drip feeding on MAME to form popular front by uniting right-wing working class and giving them class consciousness. Is that simple? Yeah, that's what he's doing. This guy is a based Pat Sock MAGA communist, I think. And he's doing it. He's actually doing it. Every single person is now joining CPUSA. Everyone who was on TPUSA is now on CPUSA. You know what I'm saying? Fucking hell yeah, baby. Hell yeah, brother. Anyway, I think this is genuinely interesting because I usually have a decent smell test on shit like this. I usually have a decent smell test on this, but him coming out and doing this goes entirely against what anyone else in his shoes would do, unless there is like some legitimate perspective backing this kind of thing. It does come across very scripted, but there is not really too much more to gain in this situation. You have a lot more to gain if you just stay apolitical and you know, keep just saying right-wing shit, because right-wing grifting does pay well. And a lot of people on the right are desperate for any kind of artist. You know what I mean? He has a playlist on his YouTube called Videos That Make Your Noggin Bigger, and one of them is a 9/11 Jewish conspiracy video. I don't think he's faking it. Yeah, there's also that aspect of it, which is, I don't know what the fuck's going on there.
In addition to the 9/11 video, there's also a couple Jordan Peterson videos, Joe Rogan, Make Confidence Your Bitch by Tourette's Guy, a video about COVID vaccines, and then this.
I think the problem is you put people into a box and think they all think the same way when your average person has wildly varying views that don't fit in a box. What is the number one thing that I talk about with respect to American politics? The average American voter is a sea of contradictions. That is literally one of the more common things I say all the fucking time. I also say everyone's a liberal, but you will never fucking find the average American who is not like super well-read on this stuff, or even if they are super well-read, they're never going to make sense. He has 2 videos on the playlist about the dancing Israelis after 9/11. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, that part doesn't even make me think he's like conservative. He's just like a conspiracy broken, brain broken, possible far right guy. Because like, I don't think the average conservative believes that chatter, because that still doesn't make sense with his fucking perspective on the welfare fudge round shit. The welfare fudge round guy is like a regular old conservative. A regular old conservative is not going, yeah, Jews did 9/11. I think you guys greatly overemphasize and assume that like everyone on the fucking far right is like there's a difference between someone who is like ideologically close to fascism versus like your regular old run-of-the-mill conservative who is very fucking racist in many instances, but is not like even completely aware of it. There is not a self-awareness that comes with like being an ideological fascist. Anyway.